Hi, this is Jimmy Pascal with JP's Coin Crafts, and today we're going to be talking about an antiquing process using liver of sulfur, and many people refer to it simply as LOS. And here's some samples here that have out here that's showing the results after I've antiqued with LOS. Here are some Canadian small cents that have turned into earrings. We have a George Rogers Clark clad quarter, actually, that I domed and made into a keychain. We have a 2-coin pendant, Great Smoky Mountains. Those are clad quarters that I put together and made a necklace. Also, some of my favorites here are the coin bells. The World of Dragons coin bell here, that's from a 1-ounce copper round, down to as small as one of the Pacific. It's the National Parks quarters, made out of clad quarters. The British 1 pennies, copper. We have some British half pennies. Large cents from Canada. Also another half penny here that we made into a heart pendant. And then here's a Celtic cross made from copper rounds, 1/4 ounce copper rounds, 3 of them. And I'll show you today, I'm going to be making a Celtic cross and showing you how the antiquing process works. And it works best for me using LOS. So I know a lot of ringers out there that after they make a piece, they want to antique it, but they have a lot of trouble with using the LOS. It doesn't adhere to the piece. They're not sure exactly what they're, how to actually, antique it all. So hopefully, if you watch this video all the way through, you'll see very detailed information here on how to antique using liver of sulfur, LOS. Okay, continuing on here with the video. For all intents and purposes, like I said earlier, I'm finished with the Celtic cross. You could be finished right here if that's the color you like, but I'm going to go ahead and antique it. But to do that, I need to put it into liver of sulfur, and this is it here, Liver of Sulphur Gel. And I've had this about over a year, and I only use about half a bottle, but it works great for antiquing the copper here. But first, before you use this liver of sulfur, you want to get all the oils off the piece, and you want to get all the oxides off from when you annealed and you quenched the fire scale off. Even though I did that, there still could be oxides and oils in your hands, or from your hands on this piece. It would keep the liver of sulfur from adhering to the piece to get it proper. When you buff it out and make it look nice. If you don't, liver of sulfur is not going to adhere to it at all. It's just going to wipe off. After you go through all this, you're just going to take a rag and wipe it, and it's going to all come off. Nothing's going to adhere to it. So here I have Sparex pickle. I have 1 ounce of Sparex pickle mixed in with 5 ounces of water. For me, that seems to be a good proportion there. So I'm going to drop that in like that. I'm just going to let it soak in here for probably about 5 minutes. Right here after that, I'm going to go ahead and, this is baking soda and water. I'll rinse it here, and then I'll put it right on in here, and this is acetone. And really it's just fingernail polish remover acetone, and I'll leave it in here. But right now, let's just let it soak in the pickle mixture here, Sparex pickle, and be right back. Okay, we've let our piece soak in the Sparex pickle for about 5 minutes. I'm now going to go ahead and use my copper tongs here, take the piece out, and just dip it right into the baking soda solution, baking soda water. You see it turned a little bit of a different color here. Getting all those oxides and oils off my hands, or off the piece from my hands. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop it into the acetone, where I'll let it sit for probably another 5 minutes. And here I just want to show Sparex number 2 is what I use. Dry acid compound. And for my mixture, when I anneal and quench, I use 1 ounce of the Sparex, the granules you see here, and I mix it with 5 ounces of water. Stir it up really, really good. And anyway, got it in acetone now. Let it sit for about 5 minutes, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've let it soak now for about 5 minutes in the acetone. I have, from here on out, I will not touch the piece without having, nitrile gloves on. I got to get these at Harbor Freight. They're 7 mil, and when I have 5 mil and 7 mil. I like when I'm working with this stuff to use a 7 mil, a little thicker gloves. And I also have a microfiber cloth here, clean, and I'll just reach in, take this out, just lay it on the microfiber cloth there, and let it just kind of air dry for right now. I'm going to go ahead and heat my water and get it ready to add the liver of sulfur. For the next segment, I'm going to be taking all this outside, because once you open this top, it's rotten egg smell and it goes throughout the house quickly. So I don't really like the smell throughout my house, when using this, so I need to take it out on my back deck area, and we'll go on from there. Okay, I have 4 ounces of water just placed into a plastic container, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the microwave, and I'll set it for 1:40, and I'll take it out. Just make sure. So I'll keep it in there for 1:40, then I'll take it out, and we'll go out to the back deck area. Okay, we're out here. I've heated it up, taken it out. We're on the back deck. A little sulfur. Now, this is the thing, it's basically just put a squirt in. It's not measured out. Get it on down in here. That should get it done. Right there. And hang on just 1 second. So I got the liver of sulfur in there. Take here and just stir it up. Kind of get a darker yellow tint to it. Got my gloves on, so now I'm just going to drop it into the liver of sulfur. Now here we just wait, probably give it 5 minutes or until it gets, as dark as you like. Once it gets that way, then I'll take it out. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back out here. I've given it 5 minutes in the liver of sulfur, and time to take it out and take a look at it. I may put it back in there again if I don't like how dark it gets. Just go ahead and lay it out here. I don't know about you, but it's pretty black. I think it's done its job. That's what it should look like after about 5 minutes. That's if you've cleaned it properly before you put it into the liver sulfur. This is what the result is. But I'm not finished quite yet. Okay, we're back. Now, this is what it looks like, of course, with liver of sulfur, LOS, put on. But I'm not quite finished yet. I found out that if you use some Renaissance wax on it and then buff it also with a felt pad, it adheres even more. It helps, this wax actually helps seal in, the wax into the metal. It, at the very end also I'll put another coat on to make it shinier. But right now, let's go ahead and do that. Use the microfiber cloths here. Get a little dip in there. Now gloves I have on, they're now 5 mil. It's more like working with my hands when I use 5 mil gloves. So got some on here and basically just rub it. Rub it on. You can see it already turning blacker, darker black. Get it all over what I consider the front. Work it all in. And really this dries on here pretty quickly if you've never used Renaissance wax. And people say, I don't like the smell. Well, some things in life you just don't like. But it works. It works really well. I was introduced to Renaissance wax about a year ago, and I've used it on all my pieces. But before I put this on here, I let it air dry for about 10 minutes before I even put it on here. Made sure it was totally dry before I put the wax on. Okay, you can see here. You say, oh, the LOS is coming off. Well, it's not. It may be a little bit, I guess, but there we go with that. Now, put this back on. It's kind of like a kerosene smell to it, the Renaissance wax. But here I have a 1/2 inch felt pad, get it from Amazon. Put it on my rotary tool. Now I'm just going to buff lightly the black, and it'll make it even more. When I use this, it's going to make it shinier as well. You can kind of see it right now getting shinier. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I'm going to go ahead and shine up the rest of it with a felt pad, and then we'll come back and see the result. Okay, I finished buffing now with the felt pad, my rotary tool. You can almost see a waxy look to it. It's that was just, like I said, Renaissance wax, a coating over the LOS, and just buffed it out. Give you a look here. Now the next thing is probably the most relaxing part for me, and now we're going to finish it off here, and I'm going to use 000040. It's 40 steel wool, and the technique will just be slightly buffing here. I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. I'm not going to sit here and buff the entire thing on video, but I'll show you the end result. But here we go with just slightly buff, and after I buff with the steel wool, I'm then going to use my polishing cloths, and this is what I recommend: the Connoisseurs silver jewelry polishing cloth. I have some wipes here. Sometimes I wipe it just a little bit, but I use primarily the cloth here. They make it even more shinier, and actually probably put another coat of Renaissance wax on. So we'll see. But you don't sit here and just start rubbing like that. You just sit there and just lightly start buffing. You might have to put a little bit of pressure, but you can start seeing the copper come through. Just buffing out the high points right now. I'll just do this part right here, the vertical bar, and just you can kind of see, maybe I'll bring it up close here in a second, but you don't scrub, just lightly dab. You know, if I got music going, I'll sit here and just kind of look it over. And I'll get it to what I like. Actually, I'm making this one for my wife. The other one I took to the boutique to sell. I think it kind of crushed her a little bit. She really liked wearing it. But let's see if I can give you an idea here. You can start seeing the copper high points coming out. But I have a lot, I have a long way to go on it. I'm not quite finished yet, but just got to give an idea of what 0000 steel wool can do. I'll go ahead and finish buffing this out. Buffing out the high points, taking the jewelry cloth to it and shining it up a bit. And I'll make a necklace for it, and I think I'll be finished. Well, as you can see, I've now completed making my Celtic cross using the 3 Canadian large cents. I've antiqued it with LOS, finished buffing the high points with steel wool, and I added a brown suede lace cord necklace to match the cross. I believe it gives it a more rustic look. I do hope that everyone who watches my series of videos not only enjoys seeing the processes involved in making a Celtic cross from coins, but also picks up some different ideas along the way, to enhance your own techniques in this wonderful and enjoyable craft of ours. If you did, please feel free to like my videos. And until next time, thanks for watching, and keep on ringing.